Welcome back. Alcoa is surging today, pacing for its best week since early November. Options traders piling in and betting on more upside. That's what Pete Najarian's telling us. Wow, Pete, that's a big move today.
Yeah, it's already got a big move, and they started on this move a little bit earlier with some of the options, Scott, when the stock was trading around 28. But just take a look at that chart. I mean, if you haven't looked at this, this is absolutely amazing to see where this stock has fallen from over the last, call it 9 months or something like that. I mean, it's been brutal, and over the last couple of months, it's really sunk down to this. So anyway, $28 today is when they started nibbling on some of these calls, and they started coming in pretty aggressively on these February calls, these February 30 calls. They were paying $1.20 to $1.50 on a different price range while the stock was at 28. So take a look now. I mean, I think originally they had about 8,000. Now it looks like we're getting closer to 10,000 of these options bought very aggressively. Very big chunks coming in. So this is not retail. These are big players coming in, positioning for Alcoa, looking for some more upside. And they've got time. I'm in these exact same calls. I'll be in those for a month. I got one more for you. Take a look at IQ. Now, you take a look at some of these Chinese names have been absolutely slaughtered, right? So you look at IQ here. Look at where this was as well, 45 bucks, and it's been hovering down here in the 16s. I mean, they've really hammered this thing. So what are we seeing today? We're seeing February 17.5 call buyers, about 5,000 of those. That's pretty aggressive. They traded around 90 cents at the time. Stock was 16. They also, by the way, are buying January 16 calls as well. So pretty aggressive buying in January and February. I decided to go to February. I wanted to buy a little bit of the time. I like this as the bigger trade of the two. I'm in that as well. So I've got two positions on that I added just today based upon this. Those Chinese names, as much as they've been hammered, I still think there's some moves to the upside that could happen over the next month or so.
Hey, Pietro, that Alcoa chart is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Totally agree.
So what's the thinking behind buying calls and something like, is it like weekly or going out 1 month and just saying there'll be a trend reversal? Because you get caught in that, I mean, they're probably worthless.
And that's why you'd rather be in the calls than the stock, though, Scott. Don't you?
I'd rather be 100 miles away from both. Am I nuts?
Well, here's why the calls make some sense, though. Take a look at what's happening in energy. Joe could speak to this a little bit, too. Over the last week or so, when we've watched those energy prices, oil specifically, moving to the upside, that's been a pretty quick move. Is it sustainable? I don't know if any of us have the answer to that. But if that kind of move happens more in the material space, the rest of it, outside of just oil and energy itself, I think somebody like Alcoa could have a nice move to the upside at some point. I'm not saying it's sustainable, but they could get in the short term a move to the upside.
Joe.
I mean, listen, I want quality names. I'm not necessarily sure if Alcoa fits as a quality name, but I understand Pete's point. There is a correlation in terms of what you've seen in the price action in energy, and you could certainly see that in a name like Alcoa. So for a trade, I'm going to go with Pete, but I kind of agree with Josh. Longer term, I don't know.
Well, let me look at the chart. The chart and the trend it seems to be on is
not a quality downtrend you got there.
And Scott, I'll point out again. Look at what I'm talking about. February options, right? I mean, this is something we talked about during the early part of the show as well. Everything is short term because nobody has that vision going forward.